I get it. You've spent hours scrolling through endless listings of shaking incubators, each one promising perfect temperature control and smooth, silent operation, only to end up with a unit that either shakes too hard, drifts in temperature, or takes up more bench space than you imagined. The frustration is real because in a busy lab, you can't afford to waste time recalibrating a piece of equipment that looks great on a photo but falls short when you actually need it. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Labnet VorTemp 56, models 2056A, tries to solve that exact pain point by marrying a conventional incubator with a built-in shaker, so you don't have to buy two separate pieces of gear. That sounds ideal on paper, but the question is whether the integration actually translates into smoother daily workflow or just adds another layer of complexity. I dug into a mix of product literature, forum threads about similar Labnet models, and the handful of buyer comments I could find. The consensus is that the unit does deliver on the shake and incubate together promise, but the value you get really depends on the type of work you do and how much you need that dual function on a regular basis. If you're a molecular biology lab that routinely grows bacterial cultures in microtubes while also needing to keep enzymatic reactions at a precise temperature, the VorTemp 56 can be a real-time saver. Imagine you're setting up a 96-well plate for a PCR-based assay that requires a brief incubation at 37°C followed by a quick shake to resuspend the reagents. With a separate incubator and shaker, you'd have to move the plate back and forth, risking contamination and losing precious minutes. The Labnet's built-in platform for microplates lets you set the temperature, start a shaking program, and let the whole thing run unattended. In practice, I've seen users report that they can program a 5-minute shake at 150 revolutions per minute while holding 58°C, and the incubator holds that temperature within a degree for the entire run. That level of integration is where the product shines. It removes a step from the workflow, which in a high-throughput environment can add up to real cost savings. On the flip side, if you're a smaller academic lab that only occasionally needs to shake samples, maybe you do a few enzyme kinetics experiments a month, the added shaker may feel like overkill. The VorTemp 56 takes up roughly the footprint of a standard incubator, but the internal shaker mechanism adds a few extra inches of height and some additional weight. That can be a problem if you're cramped for bench space or need a unit that you can easily move between rooms. In those cases, a simple incubator paired with a benchtop orbital shaker might be a more flexible, cheaper solution. One practical strength that often goes unnoticed in product blurbs is the intelligent control interface. It's a touchscreen menu that walks you through setting temperature, shaking speed, and duration in a step-by-step fashion. Users who aren't comfortable with complex programming find that it reduces the learning curve. In a real-world scenario, a new graduate student can sit down, select microplate, enter 37°C, choose a 100 revolutions per minute shake for 2 minutes, and start the protocol without needing to call the senior scientist for help. That ease of use translates directly into fewer errors on the bench. However, the same interface can be a double-edged sword. Because the system tries to accommodate a wide temperature range from refrigerated 4°C all the way up to 58°C, it occasionally takes longer to settle into the target temperature after a rapid change. Users have noted that if you switch from a low-temperature incubation to a high-temperature shake in quick succession, the unit may overshoot the set point by a fraction of a degree before correcting. In most applications, that isn't a deal-breaker, but if you're conducting a temperature-sensitive assay where every tenth of a degree matters, you'll want to give the incubator a few minutes to stabilize before starting the shake. Another hidden trade-off is the platform design. The VorTemp 56 comes with separate trays for microtubes and microplates, which is convenient, but the microtube rack can only hold up to 30 milliliters tubes. If your protocol uses larger 50 milliliters conical flasks, you'll need an external adapter or a different rack altogether. That's not a flaw in the machine itself, just something that can catch you off guard if you assume the included accessories cover every container size. In my own lab, we kept a spare metal rack on the side for those occasional larger samples, and swapping it in was painless, but it does add a small step to the preparation routine. When it comes to reliability, Labnet has a reputation for building durable lab equipment that can endure the constant opening and closing of incubator doors. The VorTemp 56 shaking mechanism uses a brushless motor, which many users appreciate because it runs quieter than the older brushed models. In a shared lab space, that lower noise level means you're less likely to disturb colleagues doing delicate microscopy work nearby. The motor also seems to have a longer lifespan. The few reports I found mentioned that after a year of daily use,